Hey, what's going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another event video here on Marvel Strike Force. We're here to talk about Three French Hens. That's the next event that's going live on Monday at 1 p.m. And what you're going to need to do to get the most out of this event. It is also going to involve the Frozen Dimension, which starts on Wednesday, I'm pretty sure. This is a day before the other trial cataclysm thing. And we don't really know exactly the rewards specifically that we're getting, although apparently there's going to be some Miss Marvel Classic shards and some orb fragments for the path to Miss Marvel, which is going to be required for this event as well. So we're going to do the best that we can to kind of add the numbers up and see where we can get. So if you're ready to go, everybody, let's boil this down. Oh, wrong scene. No, that's the wrong scene too. Let's go into full screen mode. So this is Three French Hens. This is the event that is starting on Monday. And basically the events, the stuff that you need for it. But you can see all the milestones here on this side. And then the rewards on the right-hand side. Now, I don't, it's funny because I actually don't care. I don't know. Ever since they started doing these, is it the candy ones or at least the turkey ones from November? I actually stopped caring about how far I got onto these milestones. I do want to say, however, that this event does have a leaderboard and it does have diamonds for Miss Marvel Classic, but realistically, none of us who are probably watching this video are really going to get anywhere close to that. It's just that, like, I don't know how much we really care for a lot of these rewards. There is some sprinkling of purple ISO stuff, purple ions, and I think that there's some orbs somewhere in here. So that stuff is good. And you should, if you still need to get Odin, you should try and push these events. But I will admit that for someone like myself and my main account, like I just don't actually care how far I get. I'll get what I get kind of thing. I'm not going to like spend a lot of resources or spend a lot of power cores to really push it that much. But nonetheless, we are going to be talking about this. Anyways, again, you can see here right at the top, it says Earn Path to Miss Marvel Classic Orb Fragments. And we're going to be getting some of this in the Frozen Dimension. But how many, we don't actually know. So I can't really account for that in the math video today. There is going to be some whale pointing here with Ancient One, Emma Frost, X-Men, and Old Man Logan. This one's not whale stuff. I actually think this is pretty viable, so I'm including this. And then some orb fragments, this nest egg orb fragments from the campaign, from spending campaign energy. Now, this orb is looking like to be similar to some of the event orbs that we had in the past, as it is going to reward dark promotion credits and dark diamond credits. So I think it's very similar to some of the orbs that have already been in the game. Now, one thing that I do want to talk about is, I'm hoping nobody took the bait on some of this stuff, but the orbs, when we look at the orb section in the supply store, they still have these. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure this has been done for over a week, and these orbs are still in the store. They really, I think there's nothing really of value here in my opinion, and I think it's misleading people, and I'm hoping nobody takes the bait on it. I just wanted to point this out really quick before we go any further. I don't know why. Actually, you know what? I'm not surprised because Scopely is just, they're slow, they're behind when it comes to a lot of things, and they forgot about it. I think that's frankly all it is. It's just idiocy at this point. But anyways, let's move on to talking about the event, I guess. So we're going to talk about the Frozen Dimension again. We're going to do a recap of this towards the back of the video as well. So let's zoom in a touch more. So Three French Hens. It is a 7-day event requiring Frozen Dimension, campaign energy spending, war, alliance war, and a spending snow globes. Although I think it's just war with, whatever. Fuck it. War with the bonus characters, right? It's not actually war as such. We'll talk about the snow globes portion as well. So I'm going to assume that we're going to get 500 daily points from the free claim. And then this is what the web milestone is worth if you do spend the 600,000 snow globes. I really, I don't like this. I don't like the 600,000 snow globes. I think it's a lot, even though we're now getting them in alliance donations. I still think it's a lot because when we were spending turkeys, we were still getting the alliance donations, right? And it was 300,000. And so I think this 600,000 is just such an insane amount of requirements, given the fact that nothing as far as income for this currency has changed, right? From October to November to December, there has not been more snow globes than turkeys, and yet we went from 300,000 turkeys to 600,000 snow globes. The asking price for spending gold to get these is a lot. Now, for me, I don't know, I'm sitting on a lot of snow globes, so I can do it this week, right? But I didn't spend on any of it this week. I didn't really go out of my way to complete the 600,000 from this week. So I've kind of saved in a lot of ways. Like I've, not been spending it as much. So I very well can do the 600,000 for this leaderboard event. And maybe that's the thing. I'm going to have to do it every 2 weeks kind of thing because I'm not buying it in the store. And I don't personally recommend people to be spending 3 million gold for 50,000 snow globes when we know that there's a level cap around the corner, but also just it's a lot of gold for snow globes that you don't, in my opinion, you don't really need. There's the monthly milestone, which is for Emma Frost X-Men shards, but a lot of the other stuff that's in here is just more of the same shit that we had in the turkey store. So as far as the red gear goes and all of that, like I just don't think you need to really bite into that. And yes, I am on my alt account, but not my main account actually. So that's another thing. Actually, you know what? I don't think my main account has this much. I think I'm at like 250,000. I literally have spent like nothing on my alt account, so I forgot that I was on the wrong account. But my point still stands: is that I would not go out of your way to buy this, that much, honestly. And so it's just I really want to take a look at the. This is the web milestone, by the way. So again, 600,000 points. You're not getting even any like awakened ability material. So really, it's just the milestone points. That being said, this is a leaderboard. So if you are trying to push the leaderboard, then you're going to have to make sure that you clear this or get as far as you possibly can. So that's just something there. And these are the points for, of course, the whale stone parts, the ancient one, and Frost. If you do have them a 5-star, great. You're going to get some additional points. But I am not going to be including that in the points at the bottom here. So for Old Man Logan, I am including this, though. Old Man Logan's event is coming back around this coming week, and I think that if you don't have them at 7 yellow already, I think there is a viability or a chance that you should be able to do it. They've even actually, apparently, they're removing the yellow star requirements for Cabal, Emma Frost, Loki, and Out of Time, so you can actually do the 7 yellow difficulty without having 7 yellow on all the characters. So assuming that that goes in correctly, then that is a good thing for players who need to push Old Man Logan, and apparently they are making the Cosmic Bio section easier by dumbing down the enemies. So we'll see about that when it comes back around. I think all players are going to be able to do the trial again for rewards and that kind of thing. So we'll get to see how easy it really is. Now, as far as the nest egg goes, the nest egg orb fragments, your campaign energy per day is as per usual, so about 1,100 per day. If you are doing the 200 cores daily or 480 energy extra there, I am expecting this to be a 4-to-1 ratio because for these types of orbs that gives dark promotion credits and dark diamonds as a drop on the pillars, it has typically been 4-to-1. So if it's something different than this, I would be quite surprised. But they have been using the 4-to-1 ratio for quite some time in previous events. I think they're just going to copy and paste this. So that's about 31,000 orb fragments over 7 days doing it this way. Now, for 200 cores daily, the reasonable points if we add everything together is the 31k. I am adding the Old Man Logan scores. I think that's reasonable at this point. And then the web milestone points if you cleared the 600,000 and the free claim. Again, the one thing that we don't know is how many Path to Miss Marvel orb fragments that there are going to be in the frozen dimension, which we are going to talk about in a minute here. So that brings us to about almost 81,000. Now, this is almost milestone 15, which is actually pretty good, right? So this is over here at 86,000. It's not quite there, but I mean, if you're doing some of the frozen dimension, I would imagine that you'll be able to bridge the gap here with the Miss Marvel orb fragments, but we don't know. That's a 1 million gold, but there's actually, you know what? It's not even that good of a milestone. There's some, I guess, Crimson. This is skill gear. Crimson Secret Intel. I don't even. Do we even need skill gear? I don't know why they're giving us skill gear when we don't even really have any characters related to. That's weird. Anyways, the milestone 14, which is just before that, that's probably better because it has 100,000 T3 level 1 ions. But the milestone 16 right after that is 200,000. So if we can get to there, that would be great. Depending on your progress in the frozen dimension, that's going to be 119,000. That's a lot of extra points. So I don't know if we're going to get there or not free to play necessarily. I think that's going to depend on, again, how much is in the frozen dimension, which we won't know until probably Tuesday. It'll probably be live on the website a day in advance. You'll be able to see it if you go to msf.gg, marvelstrikeforce.com or whatever, and it should be there up on the website, but we won't know until that goes live. Now, my notes for this event, again, we don't know about the orb fragments. This event, the frozen dimension does start on Wednesday, on December the 18th. It has a 48-hour cooldown when you clear it to run it again. So if you do have all the requirements, we're going to talk about that in the second part of this video here. If you do have the requirements, though, I would recommend getting this in ASAP. One, because it might be bugged. Who knows, right? Because of the last time they ran a Pocket Dimension, it was bugged as shit. So try to get, try to take advantage of this as early as you possibly can, but also so that you can get this in before the event ends, because this starts on Wednesday, but the event's running Monday to Monday, right? So you can't leave too much time in between if you want to get both runs in, which will probably have orb fragments in it. This event is a leaderboard, so if you need the purple ISO for Odin still, then it's probably worth pushing for this. I don't usually push for leaderboards as much anymore because I'm already post Odin, so I don't really need the purple ISO as much anymore. But that's just me personally. In the second half of the video, though, I do want to talk about the blog, specifically the stuff related to the Annihilators and Absolute A-Force side for the Frozen Dimension. Now, this is normal, like from the past Pocket Dimension. The requirements for the Annihilator side is pretty normal. You need up to gear tier 17 for Annihilators or Cosmic characters, and then Annihilators Legendary, Annihilators Mystic. But, we have Annihilators pushed really high, especially the main three, right? Gladiator, Thanos, and Gore, right? And then you can just fill in with these other characters, and it shouldn't be a big problem, honestly. Even Ultimus, because you probably have upgraded Ultimus for Dark Dimension 7. The Absolute A-Force side, on the other hand, I have talked about the challenges of this in my past video on Friday. I did my video for that, because there's some portions here, not just the purple ISO side of things, but honestly, once you get to the legendary section, the legendary and the mythic section, maybe not so much the mythic, but the legendary section for sure, might be a challenge for some people, especially if you do not have Kahori unlocked. So they're asking you, and you need 3 characters, by the way. I think it says it somewhere up here. You need a minimum of 3 characters for each mission, excluding boss missions. So that's important to note, actually, here. Shouldn't be that big of a deal for Blue 5, though. There's a couple of boss missions which require purple 2 for tech characters. That's probably going to be your Orcus. I think this boss, Mythic boss. So that suggests that you need 5 for this one, but only 3 for the legendary one. But like I pointed out in my previous video, I only have purple 3 on Old Man Logan and Shadow King, which means that if you do not have Kahori, then you're going to want to upgrade another legendary character to purple 3 for the purposes of getting this completed. For the mythic boss, you need 5 of them, right? If you don't have any absolute A-Force built up, then you're going to need 5 mythic characters in order to get through this. And I do want to talk about this very briefly here, especially from the perspective of my alt account anyways while I'm here. I don't even know if I'll clear it, I'll be honest. I do have Kahori unlocked now, actually. I did core for her. I do have her at level 85, so I can add purple 3 to her if I want to, and that'll help me get through. So I did core for Kahori because I did recommend this in my Should You Core video, but that's it. I don't have the other Absolute A-Force. And if we take a look at my Mythic, I'm probably fine. I have Mephisto, Apocalypse. Maybe I'm not, actually, because I would need 4 Mythics. I don't have Odin. So Mephisto, Apocalypse, Super Skrull. I'll have to upgrade Super Skrull. And then Kahori. And so it's challenging, right? And they're saying you need 3, but 5 for the boss nodes. So I don't think this is out of the woodworks quite yet. And what I mean by that is I think that the requirements are still challenging enough that you're going to have to add purple 3 onto characters that you might not necessarily want to do because of Dark Dimension and not using these characters in Dark Dimension 8. Like, I'm not using Ultimus in Dark Dimension 8. I am using these 3, but I mean, I'm not using Kestrel in Dark Dimension 8. So they might force me to upgrade characters that I don't want to do. And so I guess the second question is that we can't answer yet until probably closer to Tuesday, when it might go live on the website, is what kind of rewards are we getting out of this? We don't really know, right? I don't think they've actually said, are we going to get a refund of our purple ISO resources that we're spending, not even just the ions, but the crystals, right? That you're using to upgrade these characters in order to clear it. So there's a handful of purple 3s that you're going to need, actually. So 3 legendary or absolute A-Force, 5 absolute A-Force or mythic characters, and then finally at the very end you need a combination of absolute A-Force, Annihilators, or tech. That's probably not a big deal. I mean, maybe, actually, it still could be a deal, but you're probably going to leverage a lot of Orcus characters, I hope, and then maybe things like Thanos Endgame and a little bit of Annihilators, or Kahori if you have them, right? You're still going to need 5 characters here, 5 characters here, and then 3 characters here. So it could be a bunch of characters that you're not necessarily ready to upgrade for, and that's the biggest concern that I have for the Frozen Dimension, which is, again, going to be part and parcel of this French Hens event, because you're going to need it for the Miss Marvel Classic Orb fragments that you're going to pick up in the Frozen Dimension. So while they're separate events, it's kind of all tied into each other. So it'll be really interesting once we get the official details of what we get out of this and whether or not it's actually worth doing that. Well, I think it will be worth doing, but whether or not we get the refund on the purple ISO resources is going to be another. Because again, it's not just ions, it's crystals too. So I don't know what they're necessarily going to reward us with, but I'll be discussing that in a separate video, probably on Tuesday when this stuff becomes more available. All it says here is this. I mean, it almost tells us almost nothing. Best of 2024 orb fragments, Path to Miss Marvel, and Miss Marvel character shards, and snow globes. I imagine there's more than this, but that's all they're telling us in the blog. So that's going to be it for this video. I mean, the event doesn't seem that hard, but I think the Frozen Dimension is really a different conversation that we need to have later on in the week. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Are you ready for the Frozen Dimension? Some people are, some people aren't. If you're post Odin, you're probably fine, but if you're not, it could be a challenge to decide whether or not it's worth doing. And I guess we won't have those full answers until later on this week. That's it for now. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everybody. And until next time, stay safe and healthy. And I'll see y'all later. Boilon signing out.